bringing you the facts with the precision of AI and the judgment of real journalists. This is Neural Newscast.
Welcome to Neural Newscast. I'm Andrew Lindbeck. On this November 6th, 2025, we remember. On this day in 1860, Abraham Lincoln is elected to the nation's highest office, historians note.
You are listening to NNC, Neural Newscast. All the day's news synthesized and verified. Visit our archive for past episodes at neuralnewscast.com.
Updates from the halls of power. According to AP, longtime House Leader Nancy Pelosi says she will retire at the end of her term, reshaping congressional dynamics. I'm joined by Cassandra Joyce.
AP reports Nancy Pelosi will retire from Congress at the end of her term, closing more than 37 years in the House. She is the first woman speaker, holding the gavel from 2007 to 2011 and again from 2019 to 2023. Supporters highlight passage of the Affordable Care Act and major COVID-19 relief. Critics say her tenure deepens partisanship and expands federal spending. Why it matters. Leadership turnover could shift committee priorities and fundraising networks. What's next? Democrats weigh generational change as Pelosi's San Francisco seat heads to a competitive contest. This is Cassandra Joyce for Neural Newscast.
Reuters reports a New York appeals court orders a new look at former President Donald Trump's immunity claim in his Manhattan criminal case, directing judges to weigh the Supreme Court's June ruling on official acts immunity. Prosecutors allege the case involves 2016 hush money payments and falsified business records. Trump's lawyers argue the charges rely on official acts and must be barred. Prosecutors and legal scholars counter that private conduct remains prosecutable. The case now returns for review, pausing some proceedings while courts define the limits of presidential immunity. This is Daniel Grove for Neural Newscast.
According to the Federal Aviation Administration and AP, the FAA warns it may cut some air traffic services if a government shutdown persists, threatening flights nationwide. AP reports the Supreme Court appears skeptical of former President Donald Trump's tariff authority claims, raising questions about executive power over trade. For a worldwide view, we turn to our international team. According to Vietnam's Disaster Management Agency and Reuters, Typhoon Kalmaegi makes landfall in Vietnam after killing at least 114 people in the Philippines. Monica Kellen joins us with the latest.
Vietnam's Disaster Management Agency says Typhoon Kalmaegi slams into the coast with winds up to 92 miles per hour, forcing mass evacuations, Reuters reports. Officials put more than 260,000 soldiers on standby for search and rescue across coastal provinces. The storm comes days after it killed at least 114 people in the Philippines, where landslides and floods devastated communities. Vietnam closes schools, suspends ferries, and warns of flash flooding and power outages as flights divert or cancel. Emergency crews pre-position food, water, and generators, saying life safety is the priority. This is Monica Kellen for Neural Newscast.
At least 114 people are dead in the Philippines after Typhoon Kalmaegi tears across Luzon, officials say, according to AP. The storm triggers landslides and flash floods, crushes homes, and knocks out power to wide areas. Authorities report 127 missing and thousands displaced, with roads blocked and bridges damaged. Rescuers wade through mud to reach isolated towns, including provinces still recovering from a recent earthquake. Class suspensions and port closures extend into the week as cleanup begins. Forecasters warn of renewed flooding risks that could hamper relief flights and ferry operations. This is Daniel Grove for Neural Newscast.
Reuters and state television report Cameroon's Paul Biya, 91, takes the oath for an 8th term, extending a rule that began in 1982. The ceremony in Yaoundé unfolds amid tightened security around government buildings. Election officials declare him the winner with a wide margin, while opposition leaders allege widespread fraud and intimidation. Biya pledges stability and economic growth, saying he will safeguard national unity. Critics warn his long tenure deepens democratic backsliding and stokes regional tensions, especially in Anglophone regions. This is Samuel Green for Neural Newscast.
According to the Israel Defense Forces and AP, Israel returns to the family the remains of Itay Chen, a 19-year-old Israeli-American soldier killed during the October 7, 2023 Hamas-led attack. Officials say his family was notified earlier, but the body could not be recovered until now. Chen served in an IDF armored unit near the Gaza border. The recovery underscores continuing efforts to locate the missing and bring closure after the October 7th assault and the ongoing war. This is Laura Navarro for Neural Newscast.
Reuters reports China's grip on rare earth minerals threatens Europe's military buildup. European drones, missiles, radars, and batteries depend on Chinese processed elements like neodymium and dysprosium. Defense contractors warn supply risks rise as tensions grow and export controls tighten. The EU imports most rare earth magnets and oxides from China, leaving few substitutes. Brussels pushes diversification and recycling under the Critical Raw Materials Act, which sets 2030 benchmarks. But new mines and refineries take years, and officials call the dependency a strategic vulnerability that could slow rearmament. This is Thomas Golding for Neural Newscast.
Now, let's explore environmental stories. According to Brazil's government and Reuters, Brazil proposes a $125 billion tropical forest forever plan ahead of COP30 to curb deforestation with market tools. Samuel Green reports on this story.
Reuters reports Brazil pushes a new $125 billion plan to curb deforestation as COP30 convenes in Belém. The Tropical Forest Forever facility would raise funds, invest in bonds, and use returns to reward countries that protect tropical forests. Officials say payments hinge on verified reductions in deforestation. Garo Batmanian, Brazil's Forest Service Director General, backs the proposal after decades defending the Amazon. Supporters say it creates steady long-term incentives, shifting money from destruction to preservation, making forests worth more standing than cleared. This is Samuel Green for Neural Newscast.
The latest from the world of innovation. Spain issues a fine over AI-generated sexual images of minors, according to Spain's Data Protection Authority, signaling tougher oversight of generative AI abuse. Let's hear from Kara Swift.
Spain's Data Protection Authority fines a company for generating sexualized images of minors using artificial intelligence, Reuters reports. Regulators say the system manipulated photos to create explicit content without consent, signaling tougher oversight of generative tools that can fabricate harm at scale. The decision pressures platforms to block training data tied to children and verify age. Lawmakers in Europe view this as a template as the EU AI Act moves into enforcement.
This is Kara Swift for Neural Newscast.
AP reports the Food and Drug Administration is weighing whether to regulate AI therapy chatbots as medical devices, citing safety, accuracy, and privacy concerns. Proponents say the tools offer scalable support where therapists are scarce, but oversight could require clinical evidence, risk labeling, and data safeguards. Some clinicians warn chatbots may miss crises or give harmful advice. The FDA says it aims to balance innovation with patient protection, adding, safety comes first. This is Benjamin Carter for Neural Newscast.
Here's the latest in science. Researchers say in a new peer-reviewed study, they can accelerate creating transgenic plants from months to weeks, speeding agricultural research. Updates from the world of athletics. At the NFL's mid-season point, teams and fantasy managers track performance trends and key injury returns. Thomas Golding joins us with the latest.
At the NFL's 2025 midpoint, contenders start separating from the pack, according to league stats. Teams lean on quarterback efficiency, third down conversion, and red zone scoring to survive November and December. Fans watch key QB trends from touchdown to interception ratios to rushing yards that extend drives. Fantasy managers track snap counts, target shares, and injury returns that swing matchups. Every team faces a pivot. Tighten execution now, or see playoff hopes fade fast. This is Thomas Golding for Neural Newscast.
This concludes our coverage for this hour. For more, visit neuralnewscast.com and follow us on your favorite podcast platform. That's the news shaping our world today. For expanded coverage and real-time updates, explore neuralnewscast.com and subscribe to stay ahead of the headlines. I'm Andrew Lindbeck. Thanks for being with us.
You've been listening to Neural Newscast. Visit us online for past stories, share today's episode, or subscribe for daily updates at neuralnewscast.com. Neural Newscast integrates real and AI-generated voices to facilitate efficient, high-quality news production. Developed by human experts, our AI-generated content undergoes rigorous fact-checking and human review before publication. While we strive for accuracy and neutrality, AI-generated content may occasionally contain errors. We encourage listeners to verify crucial details from reliable sources. For more on our AI transparency practices, visit newscast.com.